Welcome to the Small Talk podcast. I'm Mike Smallegan. Today in the studio, we have Virginia Mitchell, who is one of the new agents on the team, who is recently relocated from Colorado. So welcome to the team, Virginia.
Oh, thank you. Glad to be part of the team. It's been a lot of fun, and people have been wonderfully supportive. So I just have been really excited to get going in the West Shore area of Michigan.
Okay.
Which includes like Grand Haven, Spring Lake, Ferrysburg, Muskegon.
Yeah.
That's
so what brought you to West Michigan?
What brought me to West Michigan was trying to really find a small town feel. Mm-hmm. And also that my husband's spent a lot of time in this area as well.
Yeah.
And so we decided to revisit it at this part of our lives, and we've been really happy.
Okay.
Once we got here to appreciate the greenery, the beach, all the events here, discovering, that you can do like boating to windsurfing. There's a lot of little restaurants that are really nice to go to, little mom and pop shops. And we're glad to be here in reference to helping people find this little gem in Michigan.
Yeah. Yeah. Which little gem did you find?
We relocated to a place called Nunica, which is right outside of Grand Haven.
Yeah.
And it's actually a small development.
Okay.
And the people there have been very welcoming. And a lot of people are like families, young families, but there's also like retirees and people who have careers that have moved into that particular area because there's quick access to Grand Rapids, the big city. It's only like a half hour away.
Sure.
And then to the beach, which a lot of people are attracted to, which is only like 15 minutes away. It couldn't be a better setup.
Yeah. So you chose Nunica. What other areas did you consider before settling on Nunica?
Oh, we looked at several states, actually.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, we looked at the Carolinas. We looked in Tennessee. We researched for a very long time. We probably started out about a year before we relocated.
Okay.
Looking at starting with the states, then we were narrowing it down to places where we have friends and seeing how they felt about areas. And then we plugged into our own goals to say, this is where we really want to be.
Sure. Well, that's important. So relocating from Colorado to West Michigan couldn't have been easy. Would you say that the process that you went through gave you a unique perspective on what other people might be going through and moving?
Oh, absolutely, especially across country.
Yeah.
There are different challenges than like moving across the street or moving across town. You have to coordinate with bigger movers like United Van Lines, that sort of companies, in order to accommodate a move across country. So we were really pleased with the service that they provided us, and they helped make our move so much easier.
Yeah.
They started in Colorado and helped us pack up. They were wonderful. There, the team was great. And then when we got here, then they had a team here that helped us unload and move into the house seamlessly.
So you are no stranger to moving, right? You've done this a few times?
Yes, we've moved several times, actually, within Colorado itself.
Okay.
So we invested in land. We've invested in houses. So in our minds, we have pretty much got it nailed down.
Okay.
Moving across country was new for me, although it wasn't new for my husband. But he's moved across country a few times.
Yeah.
But for me, it was a big challenge because there's all sorts of things to consider, like what really is the area like when you get there.
Yeah, lots to consider, right? So
Yeah, and we actually came out and visited
okay.
and started working with a realtor when we came out here because
Yes.
we wanted to get a feel for the different neighborhoods, parts of town, to see what was really a good fit for us.
Yeah. So moving, what are some of the biggest differences between moving across the city to across the country? What are some things that people might not be thinking about?
Some of them are you have to consider: am I moving for family? Am I moving for friends? Because when you move, you are literally leaving behind a support base where
Yeah.
you came from, and you have to consider building a support base in the new area you're moving to. And if you're friendly, that helps. You get to know the neighbors. We found that we were joining and looking, joining into certain events.
Okay.
We were looking at like different churches. We were looking at different groups to join, just to get familiar with people and get new friendships, not to forget about the old ones back in Colorado at all, but at the same time, it was important to build a base here.
Okay. So it's interesting that perspective, but I think a lot of times people take for granted the comforts of home, right? And when you move to a new place, you're going to have to find new comforts, and that could be as simple as, where do I go to get my hair cut, or where am I going for groceries, or
Oh, that's absolutely true. You're correct on that. So we've slowly gotten referrals like from the neighbors,
yeah,
and actually from the real estate team to say, okay, what doctor have you seen?
Yep.
For what happened? A dentist, your eye doctor.
yeah,
It just kind of goes from there as far as, how do we handle trash? Because it's different sometimes from one
sure,
state to another. And it is definitely different here in Michigan than it was in Colorado. So trying to get that all straightened out, and the neighbors are saying, well, it's really this way, and the other neighbor says it's really this way.
yep,
But, it's just trying to adapt and to get your interests ahead and in front of you in order to fulfill some of your goals.
yeah. So I think it's moving across is challenging enough, right? But to not know anybody in the place that you're going is probably even tougher. But working with a real estate agent that is very familiar with the market, very familiar with the services offered in that area, and just familiar with the area in general, I think has been super important to you. Would you say that?
Yes, definitely. We actually met with a Keller Williams agent in Wisconsin as well.
Okay.
We visited Wisconsin as well.
Yeah.
And checking out the areas there, and found that was not a good fit. And then we definitely wanted to stop in Michigan on that loop when we came and visited the Midwest here.
Okay.
And we're checking out real estate here first as a introductory visit. And then we actually came back after doing more research on our end in Colorado, and then coming back and setting up more appointments to look at more properties. And we homed in on one that fit our time frame as well as our lifestyle,
Yeah.
so that when we came here, it would make it easier on us.
Yeah. Just you guys actually did new construction, right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
And that actually fit our time frame because in Colorado, we had to put our house on the market.
Mm-hmm.
And we knew that it would take a certain amount of time to actually leave Colorado and get everything in order with like family and friends there. And so it took a while to pull all that together in our plans.
Mm-hmm.
And so we ended up staying a little bit longer in Colorado. But because of that, we felt that a new build would be more conducive to our plan because it was going to take a while for the house to be completed. And when that happened, we were ready to go.
Yeah. So you've been with us about 2 to 3 months now?
Actually, a month.
A month?
Yeah.
Well, feels like so much longer. It's been really nice to see you in the office.
Oh, thank you.
So thanks for doing that.
Yeah.
And how did you originally get connected with our team?
I originally got connected because I talked with someone in the Grand Rapids office, and I said, I would like to work with your best agent. Because I worked with Keller Williams previously back in Colorado doing real estate for a couple of years.
Okay.
And that was some time ago, but at the same time, I knew that Keller Williams had a good, solid reputation to work with as far as real estate goes.
Yeah.
And that's why I visited like the Keller Williams agent in Wisconsin. I asked for the best agent there, and they were wonderful people. And then I asked for someone out of like Grand Rapids
Okay.
to work with, and came
That's how we
across
got
you,
connected.
and
Yep.
also Rachel,
Yep.
as well as the entire team. But I also wanted to get back into real estate.
Yeah. And I'm glad you did.
Yeah, me too. It's been really affirming in life.
Yeah. So you've now been an agent for a month. What did you do before real estate?
Before real estate, I was an accounting manager
Okay.
for about 8 years. And then before then, my husband, John, and I were in business together for over 20 years with an IT consulting business.
Okay.
And that was very rewarding. The most rewarding part of it was all the nonprofits that we worked with our business, because we realized that that was an underrepresented niche in the business market.
Sure.
And it was very rewarding because they were very kind, number one. They operated different than the rest of the business world. And because of that, we found that we developed relationships with people that were on a much deeper level than you would find in the average business community.
Okay.
And because of that, we were referred everywhere. We worked with organizations such as Big Brothers Big Sisters of Colorado. Colorado Have a Dream Foundation. It just kind of went from there. Colorado Association of Nonprofits. And we found that it was very rewarding on a personal level.
Yeah, I can imagine.
To help them advance into technology at that point in time.
Okay.
And the one thing that we found with the nonprofits were, a lot of them were very needy at first. And they said, well, we really can't afford this. So we would sit down with them and develop a phased approach as to how they could upgrade their technology. And that's something that you have to have a lot of contact with. You sit down and explain things on their level, which is very important, and then proceed from there.
Okay.
Just develop a plan. It's always good to have a plan, whether you're doing IT upgrades in a network or if you're relocating across the country.
Yeah. So when did you first get interested in real estate?
I got interested in real estate because my husband and I did invest in land and houses along the way, and we always felt like that was a good investment in life, no matter where you were at. Mm-hmm. It didn't matter what the interest rate was like. It didn't matter what the market was like. It just made sense to invest in your biggest asset in your life.
Okay. So how has some of your past work experiences benefited you in your new real estate career and working with buyers and sellers?
Just the fact of being able to gauge a market and see what was a good fit for us personally.
Okay.
And as life evolved, you go through changes. And so that's why we moved a few times. And the one investment that we made was in the mountains of Colorado. And there, I also became an officer in the Landowners Association. And at first I was president, but I stayed on board after that to be connected to the whole process as the years went on, because I could advise people, I could help people as they moved in and out of the area into that particular landowners association, and I felt I could be of value to everyone there and support the community.
So you mentioned in your work in owning a business, working for nonprofits, you were referred to other nonprofits based on your work and how you treated them. Do you see that as a way that you do business, treating people good and good word of mouth?
Oh, absolutely. Customer service is foremost. It might have been an IT business, but it's really a people business. And what we found is in the industry, generally speaking, the length of time that most IT companies worked with their customers was like maybe 3 years. We were doing 5, 10, 15, even 20 years with customers.
Yeah.
And I thought that spoke volumes of how you can work with people, understand what they really need, and get good results for them.
So when I worked with you and Rachel worked with you, Rachel and I had a conversation about you and John, that you really had a great understanding of the new construction process, and you were pointing out things that I think most people wouldn't know to look for. Is that from your, times of building a house, or how did you get that kind of knowledge?
Well, John did have a new build before I joined him in life. We came together. But also with the land that we bought, we designed our own home, and then I worked directly with the builder stage by stage to make sure that things ran smoothly for us.
Yeah.
She would have questions along the way because we didn't bring in like a fancy architect.
Yeah.
But in that particular case, it was just a local builder, and she was good to work with. She was very conscientious, but we were conscientious too. We knew what we wanted. What was really important is to have a little bit of a plan in mind, again, as to what you want in whatever home or house you are looking at.
Yeah.
To get into. What's comfortable, what fits your lifestyle at that point, again, in your life.
So now that you've built a couple homes, you've moved across country, and now you're in real estate, what's one piece of advice you would give somebody moving across the country to live in a new area and a new house? Like, where's the first place they should start?
The first place you should start is to identify with where you are currently in life as to where you would like to be. If you are trying to retire, if you're renting in the one area and you need to rent because you're moving for a job into another area, it all depends on where you're at. I mean, there's also the prospect of retiring. Maybe you want to be near family and you want to go into an assisted living center and the family wants to be close to you. I mean, there's all certain phases in your life to approach and to research before you actually make a move. That's your first step.
What's a good way to research areas?
There are several websites on the internet to look at. But, primarily if you have friends or family in the area you're thinking about moving to, plug into them first. Oh, one really good way to plug into is a local realtor.
Okay.
You've identified an area. They are knowledgeable about all sorts of topics, like, for example, where to go to eat.
Yeah.
Are there events that suit what your interests are,
Yep.
as well as a comfortable home to live in.
Yeah, there's lots of choices out there, right?
There are a lot of choices, and there's no doubt that a Keller Williams agent can help you find that home and that area that you'd be good in.
So we actually have access to a tool to where we can find agents in any market and interview them for people that are looking to move to areas, so we can have those conversations for our clients to find out if they're a good fit and make for realtors and clients. So
Yes. We can certainly refer people to different areas
yep.
Across the country, because Keller Williams is national, which is a true benefit for anyone who's looking to relocate.
Yeah. So you mentioned good places to eat. What's one of your favorite restaurants on the Lakeshore?
Well, close by in Nunica, it's Turk's.
Oh man, yeah, Turk's is a good place.
Yeah, it's a fun place to go, and it's comfortable. People are laid back. It has decent food.
Yep.
And then in like Grand Haven, there's like JW's. That's one of our favorite places to go.
Yeah.
And we've heard most recently about Stan's. There's ice cream shops all over the place, like Kilwin's. There's all sorts of little shops, like Marushka's, that you can go to if you want to buy a quick T-shirt. It's just a smaller town feel that we were aiming for, and we're so pleased to have found this. We feel really lucky.
Yeah. Well, there's so much charm and things to discover on the Lakeshore. I'm sure you're going to continue to discover and share those places with your clients. And what's one place somebody visiting from out of town has to check out?
I would check out the South Haven Pier.
Okay.
Because it is very charming. It has a boardwalk that's over, I think it's like over a mile long.
Wow.
And so that's very attractive. To see the lights come on at night on the pier is very charming. Even in downtown Grand Haven, they light up the streets at night with the little lights, and that makes it feel more homey.
Okay.
There's all sorts of little mom and pop shops you can visit. So we generally guide people to them, and we talk about them amongst our friends and neighbors and say, oh, have you been there? And oh, you should check this out. That's the way it is here. Everyone's friendly and respectful.
Okay. So being new to the Lakeshore and new to West Michigan, what are some of the events or festivals that you've been a part of or went to since you've been here in West Michigan?
What was really a lot of fun was Coast Guard Week in Grand Haven, and you get to tour the big boats.
Yeah,
and
Coast Guard
learn
Festival.
The history
Yeah.
of behind the boats, and you learn to get a respect for what they do.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing what these people can do, and of course they a lot of the people that are in the Coast Guard actually retire fairly early because it is very demanding.
I bet.
But also, we heard that from our neighbors.
Yeah.
We also, they have concerts during the summer in Grand Haven.
Yeah.
They do them Wednesday nights, Friday nights, Sunday nights, and they also have something called the Musical Fountain. I
remember that as a kid.
Every single night. And a lot of people like to go there with their kids. The kids really get off on seeing the colors and the music that goes along with the fountain performance. So that's a lot of fun. We've managed to join the Polish Heritage Society.
Okay.
I bet you didn't know that.
Didn't know.
So
that's a big West Michigan thing also.
Yeah, yep. It is. Okay. Yeah, because I know it's also in Grand
Pulaski
Rapids
days, yep.
and in Muskegon, so they each hold their own festival.
Okay.
But there's really something for everyone to participate in that they can join, and it's a lot of fun. area caters to tourists to a certain degree, but at the same time they're cognizant of the people that are here year round, and so there's always activities that you can join.
Yeah. Grand Haven has actually grown a lot in the last 20 years. I spent a lot of time there growing up, and to see where it is now from where it was, it's a lot of it's still there, but they've modernized and gotten better. So it's good to see the Lakeshore growing and providing value for the residents.
Well, it's certainly appreciated, and we're just amazed. Since we moved here, we felt like we've been on vacation the whole time.
That's good.
Even though we're working.
Yeah.
So it's a really good feeling.
Okay. So now that we've got to know you a little bit, how can our viewers reach out to you if they're considering making a move or have questions about relocating to West Michigan?
Well, they're welcome to reach me through the Keller Williams Grand Rapids office. It's the Smallegan Real Estate Group.
Okay.
And really, it's anyone in the team that could help them. But I would love to work with anyone who's interested in relocating specifically, because that is kind of my forte.
Yeah.
So
having that personal experience, I think it's going to give you
experience. I can refer them to different vendors, and also, kind of give them a little bit of a tour of the general area, so they can get a good feel for what's available.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you sharing some of your time and your passions with us. And it's been really great to get to know you in the last month on the team, and excited to see your career take off and help lots of people relocating from wherever they're coming from. So Thank you, Virginia.
And thank you. I'm so glad to be here.